Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between SyDe and 120 or Ling. This game taking place here on Concealed Hill. For eagle-eyed viewers, well, you guys will know that this is part of the, let me say this right, Douyu Yule Cup. Whenever I hear Yule Cup, I always think like it's like some sort of Yuletide greetings and Christmas. I don't believe that is the case here, but well, yeah, just saying where my mind wanders off to. SyDe has spawned as the blue undead over here on the top right. Meanwhile, 120 has spawned as the red undead on the bottom left. Unfortunately, I cannot swap the positions of the overlay. And therefore, it will make things a bit confusing. SyDe is playing on the NetEase servers, which is an important thing to note, as 120 is based in China, and those NetEase servers, he is suffering from a lot less lag than SyDe. Undead versus undead, the only matchup where you sometimes see Lich first, I don't think that will be the case. It's like a 15% chance that you see Lich first. It is going to be going a Crypt Lord coming in from 120 and a Crypt Lord coming in from SyDe instead. I really do appreciate how Undead can possibly go all three or all four of their heroes as that primary hero. Death Knight being probably the highest one right now, with the Crypt Lord as a close second, Dread Lord as a third, and then a situational Lich also ran sort of competition, but still, you still see it fairly often. What I would say human is probably one of the least likely to see Blood Mage first, but that's just because Blood Mage is just such a strong support hero, but we have seen Blood Mage first too. Anyways, as I take a stroll down memory lane thinking about days of old, we are looking at, it is going to be an Acolyte, doing a little bit of scouting here. There are Ziggurats off here, and what is going on? Rod of Necromancy Cryptlord now making his ways around the map, going straight after those beetles, and going to be, getting them out onto the battlefield. This Acolyte down to the south also going to spot that, 120 is pretty much doing the same exact thing, except he brought ghouls over to the battle before he even tried to make any additional little creeps out on the map. Based on this, I'm expecting SyDe to actually try and clear out this creep camp off over here fairly fast. No real reason to delay your creeping, other than, using skeletons to mass up a very large army. And that's what we see here. Coming back across the other side, we are already looking at Blight being placed down. SyDe has sold his Scroll of Town Portal. Beetles are now making its way over. This is a very, very wide army, so to speak, already, as the units are going to be getting ready to engage. There is that Blight, and it is going to be two base play by both sides. All right, with two base play by both sides, both players should be playing fairly close to home or close to their expansion, making sure to protect it, thereby also being able to do a little bit of creeping. Information and knowing where your opponent is going to be absolutely key, as 120 is slightly faster out of the gates in terms of setting up the expansion. SyDe, however, is slightly ahead in terms of overall supply. 30 supply compared to 28, nothing really too much to go home and talk about as of yet, as there is a beetle trying to go after this Acolyte here inside the base. Just getting in a little bit of damage, and not going to really amount to very much, as the ghouls are able to clean it up. More beetles. Nope, not beetles. Those are actual full-fledged ghouls getting ready to engage here. Meanwhile, a couple of tunnelers and kobolds could have been finished off here. Skeletal Minion is going to finish that off again. All right, it looks like the Ziggurat is already done. A Rubian Tower already getting added on both sides as well. Forgot that there was a stream yesterday. Oops, nope, no problem. A couple of people forgot, but it was still an interesting time. Thank you for joining Wild Striker. as we're looking at, well, acolytes trying to make their way back again. Ghouls coming across here. Well, there's that one Nerubian tower. Is the acolyte going to be able to back away? That is the question. Where is it going to go? Perhaps sneak on through. And wow, what a good job it is doing. Back on that blight once more, as the ghouls are just constantly getting slowed. Are we going to see a ghoul death? No, we are not. One more shot needed, but the blight also is indiscriminate on who it heals. So, well, SyDe, even though he technically has the home field advantage, he has the Nerubian tower. He was not really getting that much extra here, as we're looking at another, well, Crypt Lord coming into the battle. All right, Crypt Lord, is it perhaps going to get surrounded here? And now level 2 Beetles could be in place as well. 120, what is he going to do? Staff of Teleportation. Are we going to see an Impale to push him out of that spot? No, we are not. No Impale. I would have thought a good Impale timing. However, there just wasn't enough mana. Coming back across here, we're looking at more damage adding on through. The Beetles are trying to escape. These are the level 2 varieties going up against level 2. Perhaps 120 thought that he could really pressure with these larger Beetles and with that Beetle advantage. However, SyDe was able to quickly get to level 3. I'll assume, yeah. Impale costing more than 90. Wow, 90 mana. Okay, if I sound a little off, apparently I have some congestion, even though I don't feel like I do. And I just sound odd to myself right now. All right, one Acolyte trying to back away. Is that going to end up getting taken out? Yep, another one of 120's Acolyte's going to get taken out here. The Nerubian Tower doing a great job, and both SyDe and 120 going very heavy on these ghouls right now, as we may look at a beetle and ghoul engagement coming back across here. We are looking at a Pure Up the Vitality going up against a Pendant of Energy. Crypt Lord has a decent amount of mana still, as we're going to be looking at a couple of SyDe's beetles getting taken out, the lower hit point variety, but we should be looking at more beetles popping up out of the ground too. A little bit of a split prong attack between these two locations. Are we going to look at the death of a ghoul? Yes, we are. And well, that ghoul is going to use its body for use its body and summon up some more beetles again, as the ghouls need to try and get away. Both sides suffering another bit of losses, as 120 taking quite a bit of damage on that Crypt Lord too. All right, it looks like the unit's going to be trying to engage together, and in comes SyDe coming across here, ready with a swarm of ghouls. So this is just a swarming battle across the board. Red versus blue, beetles and skeletons and ghouls versus beetles, skeletons, and ghouls. All right. 120 doing a little bit of chasing onto this ghoul off to the north here, down to 51 hit points, and an Impale quickly takes it out. Meanwhile, more beetles are coming out of, well, the graveyard, so to speak, against 120, as we are looking at a staff of, I thought that there was a staff of teleportation. Was there a staff of teleportation? 120 looked like he was about to teleport and then didn't? I don't know, maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me, as SyDe is still trying to rush around here and finish off more of these units. All right, this crazy Crypt Lord battle going back and forth. The beetles are going to end up getting taken out by a couple, or getting slowed down by these towers. So much just... Oh, all right, I'm just like, what is that sound? It sounds like thunder outside, but it's sunny. Oh, nope, it's just people rolling out their trash cans. And because my ears are all funny right now, it feels like the sound is coming from above as opposed to just around the neighborhood. All right, coming back around the other side here, SyDe does have a potion of invisibility, will be able to walk away, boots of speed as well. Coming back down here, we are looking at tier, going into tier 3, Death Knight should be added in here. Are we seeing the same thing? Yes, we are. 120 having a slight advantage on the training of the hero, but, I believe a very slight advantage by SyDe in terms of, tech to tier 3 should be about neck and neck. All right, SyDe actually kind of rocking 120. Yeah, well, there's just these attacks going all the way around. A nice Impale, getting in a good amount of damage here. We're looking at the Crypt Lord trying to perhaps, get in an extra bit of damage. Again, the potion of lesser invisibility was used, as 120 now will have that Death Knight, and we'll be able to bring in that 200 hit point heal that is so disorienting. Very, very easily. Where is that Death Knight now? Death Knight joining in on the battle here. It looks as though a couple of ghouls will be retreating back. We are no Spirit Towers as of yet. this as we are now transitioning into Crypt Fiends. Side transitioning into Crypt Fiends, so this is a full-on bug infestation as the Death Knight now getting ready to make a move here. All right, Crypt Fiends, having range is always a very good thing, especially when in a battle like this. Gonna go ahead and try to add up some damage. There's a Staff of Teleportation, and all of a sudden 120 says, you know what, I do not want to be sticking around in this fight whatsoever. New Beetle is going to be coming in to join in on the fight as well. No, New Beetle's joining in on the fight as well as the Ogre Lord. Well, gets impaled right in the center. All right, Forest Troll High Priest going to finally get taken down. It looks like Side was trying to get the Death Coil Steel, unable to do so, but he does bring plenty of potions of mana here into the battle as we're looking at Death Coils continuing to heal up 120. Both sides battling up and forth, and this, well, battle for the Ogre Lord here on Concealed Hill is actually quite large here. Shockwave now ripping on through again. There is a burrow, but, well, that burrowed Crypt Fiend is not going to be able to regenerate that many hit points, or could still get taken down pretty easily. Who's gonna... Oh, there's a Impale followed by a counter Death Coil. Beautifully done, but the item was just an Unholy Aura. All right, there goes another Impale again across multiple units once more. 120 taking that Impale there as a Side now looks to back away. The burrowed Crypt Fiends still getting healed back up. Both sides 65 to 62 in terms of overall supply, very even. And Unholy Aura, really not the item that they were looking for.
A player's forces are under attack.
Coming back across here, Crypt Lord. Well, Death Knight sitting at level 1. We are getting into Banshees for anti-magic shell here to try and dodge those impales. Crypt Fiends do rack up the damage pretty strong as we're looking at a Potion of Greater Mana as well. Off to the north here, are we getting a Lich? Yes, we are. Lich Orb of Corruption should be just around the corner as we are going into a transition, or transition perhaps back into ghouls, as Ghoul Frenzy is currently being researched. Crypt Lord now wandering around once more. Where are they going to perhaps try and travel to next? Death Knight here. Crypt Fiends now making their way off here as we are looking at the army trying to pull back a little bit of that aggro. And, well, Blue, who's going to actually get a big advantage here? 120 is fighting closer to the Fountain of Health, so he could actually pick off low hit point units as they're trying to make their way over. Crypt Lord, is he going to get the experience? No, there's another Impale, and no, the Death Coil does not finish it off. Side actually gets that experience there and inches his way closer to level 2. Ogre Magi going to get taken down. Tome of Agility +2. Should be easy pickup for the Death Knight. No, not waiting for that. Constant fights for the red creep camps as the Death Knight just wants to get level 2 and taking down a green creep camp, making sure to easily finish it off without having to worry about getting creep jacked and suffering too much damage. All right, we're going to go into an engagement here. Lich does bring the Orb of Corruption. Same on both sides. Orb of Corruption on the Lich. This pretty much seems to be a staple in every single undead matchup as we're looking at the engagement coming back across here. All right, Crypt Fiend's going to get ready to engage. Death Coil, long distance, heals 120's Crypt Lord there as another Impale comes across the middle center. However, well, 120 does it better, well, being able to Impale in an additional unit. Frost Nova on the sides. Death Knight gets taken down as 120 now sits at level 3. Another Impale comes back across the other way. This could be extremely bad news as Side, all he can really hope to do is now finish off another Lich. Okay, Lich falls at level 1 as the units are still engaging back and forth. Lich may be able to pick off a unit. No, not able to finish that off right there as we may see level 2 on that Lich. There's a Death Coil. There's another Impale. Is it going to finish off another Crypt Fiend? Yes, we are. 58 supply compared to 62. 120 with a slight advantage as a Frost Nova goes down onto that Crypt Fiend. Lich turning back around. Banshee not going to have a very good day, about to get taken out. Crypt Lord still has a potion of mana, could try and go for an Impale here in just a moment, trying to, units are just retreating back as 120 able to regroup. Sides Crypt Lord 12 experience shy from level 5, the death of the Death Knight. Really the difference there, that extra bit of experience, trading a level 1 wit and Lich for a Death Knight there. And, well, I don't know why there was a Crypt Fiend there. Perhaps it was impaled as ghouls are now being forced to retreat back. Low hit point ghoul is cursed and now walking back as well. All right, going back and forth, not quite sure what to make of this battle. Lich sitting at level 2, trying to get to level 3. Death Knight is going to be, well, out onto the battlefield as well. He's sitting at level 2, and the Lich may get there first. Lich going to be picking up some Sentry Wars, Force Troll, High Priest. Well, Crypt Lord should back up. Don't want to take away any experience from that Death Knight and that Lich. Come on. Nope. Doesn't really mind if the Crypt Lord takes experience. That's going nowhere. But he does take that Tome of Intelligence too, perhaps for a little bit more mana. All right, there's been a battle at every single red creep camp. Might as well do it for the last one here as we're looking at the engagement now adding up. All right, there's a Frost Nova steal by that Lich. Trying to get that last bit of experience, unable to do it, just a little bit shy on experience. Perhaps that Crypt Lord should have stayed away. I don't know, I should watch what I say. SyDe sometimes drops in on the channel. As we're looking at an engagement here, SyDe finally getting up to level 3 on that Lich. Level 2 Frost Nova going to be a very, very nice pickup there. Let's see, what is the item? Boots with the loss. What aura was dropped? Devotion aura for the Death Knight. So the Death Knight adding in a little bit of extra durability to his units. 2 additional armor right there. Nope, come on, didn't want to zoom in. It just zoomed in by itself. Death Knight getting in a position here. It could be the death of SyDe that his Death Knight cannot death coil at level 2. I was trying to get in another death in that sentence to actually make sense, but I don't know, being able to say death in a 3 times in one sentence already seems like what? Let's see. Seems like I'm pushing it. All right, getting ready to engage Crypt Lord. Perhaps, well, opening up with an Impale. Impale going back onto the Banshees. Banshees didn't, well, Anti-Magic Shell not working that well. 2 Banshees quickly lost. Banshees are just falling left and right. Anti-Magic Shell, army of green across multiple units. As we are looking at that, damage is absorbed. However, well, the stun still seems to be in effect here. Crypt now trying to back away. SyDe sitting at 70 supply compared to 71. More Impaled units continuing to battle it up as we're going to be looking at a burrowed Crypt at the last possible second to regenerate all of those hit points. All right, battling it up still. We're trying to engage here. There is another Impale. That Impale hitting up what 2 heroes and 2 more Crypt Fiends. A Death Coil landing right in the middle. And this is a game of Impale. Whoever impales more units is going to end up winning. And, well, all 3 heroes were impaled right there. All right, how is this going to go down there? Death Knight, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, will be able to break free, but that was a forced right there as we're still looking at an engagement. Death Knight now trying to retreat back. He is going to be getting up to level 4. Perhaps Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on the Death Knight of SyDe as well, as this mirror match is just seeing a lot of similar strategies on both sides. SyDe's Death Knight needs to retreat back. He is not close enough to the Obsidian statues to get hit points or mana, as those Obsidian statues are just so far back. However, the Lich of 120 is low on mana there, but the Impale still catches him. All right, Lich going to be in trouble. Scroll of Town Portal going to be transferring out, and it really is the fact that SyDe's units, those Obsidian statues, were just so far back. They were not really able to provide any additional hit points or mana for that Death Knight. Death Knight resurrected the quick and easy way. I guess a benefit for only having a level 2 Death Knight. Death Knight of 120 sitting at level 4. So 5-2-3 going up against 5-4-2. Would you rather have a level 3 Death Knight, a level 4 Death Knight, or a level 3 Lich? That is the question here as the unit's getting ready to engage. All right, Spirit Tower are already under repairs. Scroll of Town Portal, well, not available. Quick Web onto that Destroyer. That could be bad news as we're going to see a big Impale coming in from SyDe there. Massive damage coming back across already. Anti-Magic Shell Death Knight still not having enough mana. Trying to push his way through. Obsidian statues are in the back, and that range on the Obsidian statue is a big deal. All right, Impale not getting that much damage in. Are we going to see some sort of anti-magic shell? Yeah, there's the Impale, and that is going to get a little bit of time for get out of jail free as SyDe hangs in the back close to those Obsidian statues. Death Coil trying to save that Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord down to 400 hit points, going to still stay alive here as the Death Knight now is at level 3 with level 2 Death Coils. Another Death Coil should be inbound. That 400 hit point making such a big difference. 70 supply compared to 67 this battle, and this is really good positioning for SyDe as it's forcing 120 to retreat here. Are we going to see an Impale? No, we are not. Not enough mana, and really the Obsidian statues in this fight have not been able for SyDe to really provide hit points and mana for the heroes. Meanwhile, the 120's Obsidian statue placement has been better, but at the same time, it is causing his Obsidian statues to now run out of hit points and mana. 120 is ahead. I don't know. I would say SyDe is actually slightly ahead here until that Lich until the Lich of 120 gets to level 3, I would rather have 2 level 3 heroes than a level 4 hero and a level 2. All right, coming back down. Death Knight.
Players' forces are under attack.
Death Knight going to clear off the remainder of this fountain creep camp, which is incredibly important. Also, the use of banshees and the curses cannot be ignored. So much cursing going on that so many attacks have constantly been missed. It's it's not easy to properly gauge how strong each army is. Crypt Lord creeping on level 5. Well, there is always the situation. If you crip without the level 5 hero, you are going to be a little bit slower. And is it worth being 10 seconds slower for a potential creep jack and to be out of position, or that extra experience? If you don't know where your opponent is and you think a creep jack is possible, then then you want to make sure that your army is all together. The last thing you want to have is your hero out, your main hero, your level 5 hero out of position right at the start of the battle. All right, getting ready to engage here. Anti-magic shell already pushing through. You can see SyDe actually taking that center expansion location, so he has a follow-up plan if this does not work well. Are we going to see an impale? Yes, we are. Those are all up in the air, but not taking that much damage. As we're going into an engagement again, there goes another impale across the far side here. Deathcoil trying to save some of those units as anti-magic shell is preventing much of that damage again. Deathcoil trying to save another as the Death Knight uses a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability and dodges an incoming Impale as well. Lich continuing to battle it up here. Units trying to hang back. Where are we going to see the next Impale? That is the question here, as it looks like SyDe is trying to line up a good Impale, but unable to do so because, well, the line is going this way. There's that positioning. There goes some Impales. All of those units are thrown up into the air. A beautiful Frost Nova follow-up, and it's really been that level 3 Lich with that level 2 Frost Nova follow-up that's really giving SyDe this advantage here. Almost getting up to level 4 there. Death Coil now onto the Lich, and throughout this game, that Lich of 120 has been staying at level 2 quite uncomfortably, as the Death Knight now trying to retreat back down to 60 hit points. And you can see once again, it is that level 2 Frost Nova difference that is really changing the course of this game here. A level 3 Frost Nova would have finished it off. Death Knight now having anti-magic shell, trying to keep his distance away from that Lich, as we're still battling it up. 77 supply compared to 70. Still engaging here. SyDe trying to go after that Crypt Lord. Crypt Lord down to 515 hit points after a Death Coil, as the Death Knight of 120 is still holding on in that front line spot. All right, looking for a Death Coil onto SyDe's Crypt Lord. Are we going to be getting it? There you are. Exchanging of the Death Coils again. Obsidian statues need plenty more mana, and this battle is still raging on here. What is going on here? The Crypt Lord forcing to use the Scroll of Town Portal. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability being used. Death Coil trying to save again. 77 supply compared to 70. A sea of green blobs indeed. We are looking at a little bit of healing. Acolytes now transitioning back to the center, and 120 must know that he needs to see if an expansion is taken in the middle. If it is, he needs to rush to it and take it out, force an engagement there, as he cannot allow SyDe to maintain that economic advantage against him. 4 acolytes already being transitioned back over. The Shade has spotted that expansion indeed. Lich is sitting at level 4, so level 2 Dark Ritual. And that's really been one of the main differences as well. 120 has opted to go for Frost Armor. Meanwhile, SyDe opted to go for level 1 and level 2 Dark Ritual, which means that the Lich has had plenty more mana throughout this engagement. Also, the Gloves of Haste on the Orb of Corruption making a decent impact as well. Both heroes attacking quickly. Boots of Quell the Lost giving them that little bit of additional bonus. Shade going to be getting ready to engage here in just a moment. Tomb of Relics, that a little bit more home field advantage as we're going to go to engagement. There goes an Impale. Great way to start off this battle as always, as we see Impale after Impale. Sides, Cryptlord could be in trouble. May need to use that Potion of Lesser Invulnerability early as the Death Knight's Death Coil was on cooldown. There goes another Impale again. Obsidian statues are trying to heal back up. Cryptlord is right in the center. There goes another Impale. The Cryptlord, and yes, 120's Cryptlord gets blasted in a matter of seconds just with that Frost Nova there and Impale. A nasty 1-2 combination. Cryptlord, anti-magic shell. Is it going to be enough? Death Coil needs to save in a Death Knight of 120 being forced to retreat again, and 120 does in fact give the GG. A great battle going back and forth. Ultimately, trying to recap, both players played very similarly. Experience was neck and neck, but it was really Side having a level 3 Lich that really pushed him at the beginning of the late game. You saw how many Frost Novas went off in the later portion at that fight at the expansion, and that slight bit of damage, you're just looking for a slight advantage and then pressing that advantage over and over and over again. And that's exactly what we saw Side do. We saw 120 casting level 1 Frost Nova repeatedly, and that damage just didn't finish off the Death Knight. A little bit of extra damage in those situations could have changed the game drastically. On top of that, Side was playing with a little bit more lag going up against 120. Anyways, regardless of the outcome of the match, that was a great game between Side and 120. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.